The explosive new film, Flynn, deliver the truth, whatever the cost, exposes secrets behind the government's takedown of General Michael Flynn.
Flynn knew what the intel world had been up to.
He ordered the first audit of the use of contractors. This set off alarm bells.
He told the truth. He was the most dangerous person for Donald Trump to hire. They had to get rid of Flynn.
Flynn, deliver the truth, whatever the cost. Available now. Watch it today. Go to salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. I hope it finds you well out there. And, well, we always get Jobless Claim Thursday. We got a different number today, and it has gold and silver on the move. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. Our website at allamericangold.com. And we got a great show lined up for you. IHOP, Applebee's, even companies that are consumer-related like Airbnb. Now all of them. It's kind of spreading here with the consumers kind of tapped out. The consumers in trouble here. At the same time, they found a new way to get consumer debt. You know, we know the usual suspects, but you got mortgages, right, for the consumer. Auto loans, right, consumer, right. Credit card, consumer. Student loan, consumer. Well, there's a new one, and now there's big trouble in it. That's called buy now, pay later. We got all of that and so much more. And, oh, yeah, let's not forget, are we being said, are they dumb? Right? Is Janet Yellen dumb? I mean, by all accounts, let's not kid ourselves. This is a really smart lady. Book smart, super smart. I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe is she a genius? Maybe. Jay Powell, I'm sure he's a smart guy, right? I think he's a lawyer by trade of all things, but I think he's a smart guy. But yet, are they just dumb with their economic policy? Or are they just getting ready for the crash? We already saw it, really. You know, then I think that's the big thing about it. The financial crisis, that was really it. That was the house of cards collapsing upon itself. And all this they did is they got lucky. Hey, we can take the debt, right, from 5, 6, 7 trillion to 40 trillion. And give ourselves some time. But we're right back at it. And another piece of the puzzle coming down as U.S. banks and MasterCard have now completed a test ledger to settle, right, for digital currency settlement. So all of this and so much more, Jason, there's a lot going on today.
There's a lot going on. And just listening to those numbers, you know, like you do every day, it seems like every day we just creep towards the inevitability of the U.S. dollar becoming weaker and weaker, and that's going to push gold higher and higher. So it's, the jobs number, right, Joe? The jobs numbers, they're finally starting to move in the way that the Fed likes, to maybe do a quarter-point rate reduction at some point.
Right, we had a less than stellar jobs report last week. Today, 231,000 people filed for jobless claims. Remember, we've been, I don't even know, like 3 months of 210. It's 210. 231's really not a bad number. Like, before this 210 nonsense, it was kind of like, that was like an average number. I don't think we really need to worry until it gets, that 270 to 300,000. But still, this is a much higher number than we've seen in the last, say, 9. This is the highest number in over 9 months. Continuing claims also higher as well. So, Jason, again, these are things that they like to say, hey, this may be, and finally, one of the Fed governors, I go out to allamericangold.com, I think she must have listened to us, because she finally said, well, you know what? Yeah, people may have to get fired a lot more before inflation finally comes down.
That's what you've been saying for how long, Joe?
That's right.
You're waiting.
It's
You've
not
been saying it for
hard.
how long?
Listen, maybe it's because you need to have just regular intelligence to understand these things. You know, and I say it a lot all the time. You know, those really smart people have no common sense, right? You know, they really struggle with the common sense stuff. I think that's what these people are. Well, again, if you're into, they're not doing it on purpose. It really isn't that hard, but it is an interesting number. It does highlight, again, we'll see what next week brings. You know, if next week it's 240 or 250, right, then we can start to start worrying here that, okay, are we going to have a problem? Because, like I said, it just keeps piling up. Today, IHOP, Applebee's, amongst others that are saying, hey, sales aren't happening at our restaurants, and saying that people that earn less than $50,000 now are disappearing. So now you make $50,000. Apparently you can't even go to IHOP anymore or Applebee's. I mean, let's face it, these cater right to the lower middle class. You know, middle class, lower middle, you know, that working class, affordable place to eat. And they're saying it's not affordable anymore.
McDonald's is becoming not affordable. So how is a sit-down restaurant with a waitress going to be any better over time, Joe? And a lot of fast food people have been going to sit-down restaurants because it seemed like for a while the sit-down restaurants were not quite as hit hard with the inflation, and now it's going all directions, isn't it, Joe? And yeah, you got to have quite the plan for eating out to make sure you do it right and spend your dollars right nowadays, Joe.
When we get back, we got an update on silver, so be ready for that. But are we going to have to start considering the Costco effect? We'll be back. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason on this Thursday. A quick look in the marketplace here. The Dow's up 180. The S&P's up 19. The Nasdaq's up 42. The 10-year note 448. Crude oil is higher. Gold's up 20. 23.43. We thought we were going to wait till June to the next leg up. Well, maybe not here. Are we going to be talking about new all-time record highs in gold again? We know we will before the year's out, but gold here consolidated around that 2,300 level, and now with the jobs data from Friday, remember we talked about the shorts clearing out. Remember that? We talked about the shorts clearing out, and now with the jobless claims number today, here we go, 23.43. Silver, here, look out. Right now, silver's up 80 cents, 28.16 on silver. We've got an update coming to you here in a minute on that as well. And the Japanese yen, all eyes on the yen right now. How bad's going to get at 156 right now? But we dubbed this the year of chaos, and it's lived up to its name. It really has. We've got a Fed in confusion, right? Oh, no, we've got inflation under control. Oh, wait, we're going to watch the data. Now we're not really sure. We don't know, right? We're not sure what's going to happen. We're going to keep watching the data, though. Watch the data, watch the data, watch the data. We got a presidential election. We got the Republican nominee in court, right, talking about porn stars. I mean, you couldn't come up with a better reality TV show than what we're going through here in 2024. We got the other guy who barely remembers what day of the week it is, right? I mean, it's comedy. It really is. Wars everywhere, everything that's been going on. But listen, the signs. Just look at the signs. We've got a housing market where nobody can move. We've got inflation, right, that just won't go away, right? Let's think about every major metal that we really need, right? Copper, uranium, silver, all the green energy metals and all of the military metals, right? Got to remember military because everyone's dropping bombs like they're going out of style. And the shortest supply ever, huge supply deficits. The consumer now, they're starting to really be in trouble here, right? We saw it yesterday with the auto loans, right? Credit card defaults. Then all of a sudden, yesterday or the day before, credit card usage stopped. Right, which tells you what, we're maxed out, right? They won't give me any more credit, right? They won't do it. Get diversified. Be smarter, right? Be smarter than you were when the dot-com bubble crashed. Be smarter than you were during the financial bubble. Because these are, the funny thing is we're seeing all the signs of distress that's starting to build, but because they printed so much money to cover it up, we're going to have inflation on top of it. It's like a double whammy, which makes sense. Every bursting bubble has been worse than the previous one. I didn't make it up. That's just the facts. Got to have your gold. You got to have your silver. And I'm telling you right now, if you can get more diversified with your stocks and your bonds, do it. Check out refi. You can get up to 10.25% fixed rate of return. Well, what happens if this happens and that happens? Nothing. You know what happens? You get 10.25. That's what happens. Month after month, you can turn your income on. You can turn it off. Any of the things that you want to do, be more diversified. Be better. Be smarter. Invest. YRefi.com. That's the word invest. The letter Y, REFY.com. Or just call them at 888-YRefi-24. Why? Well, according to the latest out of Fortune, there may be a new debt phenomena that is getting ready to unravel. They're calling it phantom debt. What can phantom debt mean? What does that mean? Well, it's buy now, pay later. And what they're talking about is all of these companies have been offering, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen them, even at Walmart and stuff. You can buy it now and pay later. You got to pay it in 4 installments. Here's the thing. These are not being reported to the credit agencies. And the companies that are offering it are saying, well, it's not our fault. It's the credit agencies. They're not equipped to handle all of this. And the credit agencies are like, we don't know what they're talking about. Just tell us. Come to find out, Jason, this looks like this could be up to a $700 billion problem. So when you think about credit card debt, that's $1.3 trillion. So this would be almost half of credit card debt. It could go a long way in explaining how it is that the consumer got by where they were so far. But they're saying in 2024 alone, $334 billion in this buy now, pay later. And the funny thing is now these firms are starting to say, uh-oh, these people are starting to miss their payments. But again, it's not being reflected in the credit scores because they're not even reporting it. But it's just another example of how underwater a lot of U.S. consumers really are.
Yeah, and we've talked about this being sort of a slow crash for a while, Joe. And when it comes to the credit card side of things, when we've seen the 08 crash and we've seen the 87 crash and how those kind of things, they seem like they move pretty fast. Well, when you look at the jobless numbers and the jobless claims and the unemployment rates, Joe, that you watch regularly to see how is this recession going to show up, how bad is it going to get. Well, this has been different because you have the gig economy, so to speak, nowadays. You got people working multiple part-time jobs, and you don't necessarily fall off of a payment cliff when you lose one of your 3 jobs or one of your 2 jobs. You can still pay some of your stuff, right, Joe? Anyone who knows somebody who's had trouble, making the payments and just falls off the cliff, they just stop paying everything. At some point, you just stop paying everything, right, Joe? Well, having these multiple jobs kind of gives you if I can just get another job and if things just go a certain way, I better stay up with this stuff. And I think this is what's been making this thing move slower. But what you're talking about is, look, it's the multiple job people are losing too many of their multiple jobs, and now it's getting more severe. It's just happening a little slower than normal for a crash.
You remember those places? Remember like Rent-A-Center?
Rent-A-Center.
Right, you can go rent a TV for like $10 a week or something like that. Here's the thing: if you miss your payment, they can go back and take the TV.
Yes.
Not here. Not with this. And it's incredible. According to Bloomberg, listen to this: 43% of people that owe money to the buy now, pay later services, all of them, are behind on their payments. Almost half of them aren't making the payments, and 28% said they were already delinquent on other debts on top of this. So this is, Jason, this is another one of these things where think about what they've done. Before they took us off the gold standard, the only debt was mortgage debt. Credit cards didn't even really exist in 1971. There was no credit card debt. Student loan debt, I mean, it was microscopic. I mean, you could go to Harvard for $3,000 in 1971. I don't even know, going to Harvard now, it's got to be closing in on 100. I know it's in the 70s. Then you got, so think about this. They've added student loan debt, credit card debt, auto loans, right? Think about it. The average car was $3,000. The average new car loan in 1970, it was like 36 months, and that was crazy. Most of them were 24 months. Right now, you get a new car, you got to go 8, 9, 10 years. I don't know if they're at 10, but most of them 8 years. Right? You're paying a fortune. And now, what's the latest? Pay now or buy now, pay later. And Jason, a lot of these people are doing it to buy food. Right? They're not doing it to, go on vacation. They're doing it to buy food.
That's correct. Yeah, and you talked about Rent-A-Center briefly. That model doesn't work anymore because when it comes to appliances and TVs and all this stuff is throwaway material now. Back in the 80s or 90s when you made a TV, hey, it's worth repossessing and trying to resell it in case there's a market crash, right? Now it's not even equitable really for these retailers to chase people for this stuff. So when they go bankrupt, the retailers and the businesses are going to take it on the chin. I mean, we've talked about small businesses and business loans being a big problem right now, Joe. That's going to be it. The housing crash was 08, but this really looks like a housing crash that small and medium-sized businesses are the ones that are going to really flush this thing. Because you're talking about who's taking on this debt. If you're selling refrigerators, You know, and you let people do it on credit. You know, I see the 0 down, 0 interest for 12 months. You're trying to get customers in, Joe. And what happens if in 14 months they make their first 2 months payments and they stop? And now you got a 14-month-old refrigerator that probably only has 5 years of usage anyways because they make them so bad. And the business, this could be a business crash. And the large businesses, the Costco's, the Walmarts, the Sam Clubs, the Targets, they're going to reap the benefit of this next crash, Joe.
Yeah, and it's starting to rear its head. According to the data, and again, I didn't do the data, right? There's, Bloomberg and Wells Fargo kind of took a look at this situation. So you got a situation, 43% aren't paying or are missing their payments. Inside of that, 42% of households that make $100,000 or more are using this buy now, pay later, and are behind on their payments for the buy now, pay laters with over $100,000. I mean, it just tells you where it really is now that, man, if I was growing up, someone's making $100,000, man, they were stinking rich. Now it's like, that's it, right? Maybe, can you buy a house with $100,000? Depends on where you live, right, Jason?
Yeah, it really depends on where you live. There's not a lot. I don't care where you're in the country. How much does it cost you to build a house in the cheapest part of the country? Just the materials. It's about $300,000 to build a house, right, Joe? I mean, a small house, maybe $250.
Yeah, median new homes like $400. Yeah. You figured it out yet? Are you going to get smart? Are you going to get more diversified? We'll be back. We got to talk about U.S. banks and MasterCard and what is possibly getting ready to happen. We're back here at the Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday, 800-951-0592. Yellow flowers everywhere, killing me. All of a sudden, after living in the valley for as long as I have, I've developed a allergy to all the yellow flowers. It's like Arizona's version of snow, right? It's just yellow flowers falling off these trees anywhere. So bear with me. But big update today on the silver market. Obviously, we're seeing silver here surge again today, back over $28 to the ounce. We know there's another huge supply deficit showing up in the silver markets this year, another anticipated and even bigger deficit next year, and then the Costco effect. Right, Costco now selling, they don't let you buy 5, but they're selling Silver Eagles. And the problem is they sell so many of them, and they sell out in hours. They're just gone. The mint can't mint them fast enough. And so we have unprecedented, it's not unprecedented, but it's all of a sudden the supply that most wholesalers were expecting to have, the mint is telling you, can you wait 4 weeks? Can you wait 6 weeks to get delivery? Premiums are on the rise. Now here's the good news. I've got 2 different silver items for you to choose from. U.S. Silver Eagles. Okay, this is the staple in silver. Each coin's an ounce. There's 20 ounces in the roll. It's pretty straightforward. Right now, I've got them on sale at $735. As early as tomorrow, as late as maybe Monday, with no move in silver, I'm being told that we will have new silver premiums coming, and you're going to be looking at anywhere from $750 to $760 if silver stays at 28. So take advantage today. They're $735 right now. We have them. If we sell a ton of them at the end, I'm going to tell you, be patient. But right now, these are things that I can have here in Phoenix or in Colorado early next week. If that's, looking at this right now, you're looking at a price point, just to let you know, that's $36.75. And we're talking about $38 possibly by tomorrow or Monday. So you can see how big of an increase in the premiums we're talking about. I also have, I don't have a ton of, I got, 70 or 80, and I don't have more. I wish I did. I don't. 1 ounce silver bars. If you want a 1 ounce silver bar, these are Sunshine silver bars. They're at $32. So you can see the difference, Jason, just there in the premiums in silver. But either way, silver premiums are taking off. And at the same time now, Jason, spot silver is going with it. Remember the last time we had high silver premiums? Silver was like $18 to $22. Now we're talking $28 to $30 in these premiums coming back again.
Joe and I were talking this morning about Costco. If Costco continues to aggressively sell gold and silver at their stores, and I was talking to Joe, I was like, I don't know if people remember, but Walmart attempted to sell gold and silver. And I think why it didn't stick was because of the shipping, because they did it online. If Costco pushes this thing, and we know Walmart is Sam's Club, they're going, that's what these guys do. These big companies do. They compete. And if Walmart / Sam's Club starts doing the same thing, you better watch out, because it doesn't matter what the silver spot's going to be. The premiums will go to a higher level because of the physical demand, and it'll stay there until the spot price capitulates and says, well, it can't stay here any longer. Joe, you remember it was $10, $12, $14 above spot for Silver Eagles for a while there, which was the physical price saying, hey, spot price, you make no sense, get out of here. And you have big retailers selling gold and silver, Joe, which, you've been doing this a long time. Just, can you imagine going back to the early 2000s talking about Costco or Walmart selling gold and silver? It would have been nonsense.
No, right? Yeah, that's just total nonsense. The first roll of Silver Eagles I ever sold was like, I want to say $120, something like that for the roll. So we're talking about, well, you better hurry up at 7:35, because I don't know how long it's going to last here. And like I said, the market is just being overwhelmed by the reality of physical demand is so far ahead of what the actual supplies are. Gold, silver, copper, right, tin, you name it, right? All of these industrial type metals, especially in the industrial type metals, there's just massive shortages. And mining, it's not like, oh my gosh, hey, let's just open another mine tomorrow. Doesn't work that way, right? It takes 5 to 10 years, if you're lucky, to get mines. In America, it's probably at least 10, right? Because you got to jump through every hurdle there is. And we're just going to see here, and we've said it all along, don't be shocked. You're going to see $30+ silver. I think we'll be lucky if we don't see $40 silver before the end of the year. And if we don't, we'll just see it next year. That's just where we're at in terms of supply. So rolls of Silver Eagle, $735. 1 ounce silver bars at $32. For you gold guys, kind of the last shot here. Are we going to, be able to buy gold below $2,600? $20 gold, $25.75. So save $20 there. 800-951-0592. When we get back, what were the banks and MasterCard doing yesterday? 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason. Things just got a little more serious here, so you can't wait. You're running out of time. U.S. Silver Eagle, $735, like I told you. Looks like new premiums entering next week. You're going to see, and this is if silver just stays, at $28, which I don't think it's gonna. You're going to see a pretty steep increase. Expect delays also on Silver Eagles. But today I've got them, and I can have them here next week, $735. 1 ounce silver bars at $32. $20 gold pieces, $25.75. Before, I was going to go to the banks and MasterCard, but I can't. Starwood Capital. Okay, this is Barry Sternlicht. The guy's a billionaire. Starwood Capital is a huge primary real estate hedge fund, if you will. They're massive. Their CEO today says that America's regional banks are going to start failing at a rate of 1 to 2 a week. Speaking with CNBC, he says that primary real estate lenders, community and regional banks are all about to get whacked. We are going to see a regional failure every day, or not every week, or maybe 2 a week. And he added that Jay Powell and the rate hikes and the consequences in the real estate sector have yet to come to task. But he said that the $1.9 trillion in real estate loans is the most fragile animal right now. And with the Fed saying they're going to be higher for longer, he's saying, Jason, these banks stand no chance. That the failures are going to start coming. I hope this is wrong. I'm going to say this right now. You can't have a regional bank a week go under. That's just not going to work. I mean, maybe you can have these small banks go under, these community banks go under, but if you're talking these regional banks, there really is a huge problem. He's how about Jeffrey Bloom, another one of these guys, talking about we're getting ready to enter. Maybe these guys listen, Jason, ready for this? A new dark age. Take your money out of the bank. That is what these guys are talking about. This is what, Jason, I've been telling you for how long?
So bank failures, 1 or 2 a week, okay? 2009 there was 140. In 2010 there was 157. So you're talking 3 a week in 2010. You're talking 2.5 a week in 2009. And we have far more reason to see more bank. Even though there's less banks now than there was back then, there's more reason to believe that rate can be increased. 2011, 92. That's almost 2 a week. 2012, 51. That's 1 a week. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row of 1 or more, going up to 3 per week. Yeah, 25 in 2008 and 24 in 2013, 18 in 2014. There's a whole bunch of years, Joe, where you got an average of 1 a week for like 6 or 7 years in a row. There's no reason to believe that we're going to do any better this time around.
This is it's not good. It's not good. These are really smart financial guys that operate billions and billions of dollars on Wall Street, telling you, hey, these guys don't make these comments on TV unless they know. They already know before they make them. right? Because that's how do they get that credibility? Because that's how good they are. They've done the research. They know what's going on with these balance sheets. And then to top it off, doesn't this make sense? Yesterday, payment giant MasterCard and several of the leading U.S. banks, right? J.P. Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, you know the ones, announced a proof of concept for what they are saying is regulated settlement network that will potentially share a ledger, right? This is all about what? Digital currency, share ledger technology, sending money back and forth to each other, right? Hey, this is the digital payment ledgers. Some of the tokenized assets circulating in the system will include commercial bank money. Oh, really? Yeah. We knew about the wholesale. Well, what's that? Wholesale central bank money and securities like U.S. Treasuries, investment-grade debt, assets that trade on a separate system within the traditional financial system. See, we're just going to put it all together, right? We're gonna be putting this all together. The proof of concept will be conducted in a test environment that will simulate multi-asset transactions in U.S. dollars, of course, right? Because guess what you guys have? Guess what we all have? This aims the highest opportunity to improve operations of multi-asset settlements for domestic users of financial instruments dominated in U.S. dollars. So, yeah, there you have it. How soon? How much more time? How much longer are you going to wait? You going to wait for all these banks to start going under? I don't know. Sure. You going to wait for silver premiums to get even higher? Gold premiums to get even higher? 800-951-0592. Jason and I wrapping it up right after the break. 800-951-0592. Once again, U.S. Silver Eagles, before the new premiums come out, $735 for the roll today. We also have, I don't know how many are left, but we have some 1-ounce silver bars at $32. So already that's like $4.75 difference per ounce. So just keep that in mind. And then $20 gold pieces, $25.75. I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it. Don't have too much money in your bank. I don't know how much more. I don't know what else to say. You know, these guys, their companies, they take deep dives into these banks. And when you're talking about consumers starting to run out of money, right? Well, that's less deposits in the bank. A lot of these regional banks, a lot of these community banks are dependent on just a handful of companies to keep big balances. Look at what they did with the trust money, right? FDIC said, no, we're not insuring that much anymore. And now, listen, we haven't even talked about the FDIC. We'll do that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. A huge case about, oh my God, sexual harassment all over the FDIC, right as the time as the FDIC is trying to force all of these major banks to carry billions and billions and billions more cash on hand because they know they're insolvent. I'm just, it's interesting the timing on all of those things. 800-951-0592. Gary Gensler, he's the head of the SEC, by the way, because I'm wondering what's going to happen with crypto. crypto is a tiny part of the market, but a major percentage of the fraud. And again, Jason, it's kind of this love-hate relationship with crypto. At the same time, our central bank and our bankers and MasterCard, Visa, they're all creating a crypto, essentially, but one that they can control.
That's right. Yeah, it's be very careful where you tread when it comes to digital assets. It's a very tricky place. And just because your buddy or your neighbor's into it doesn't mean you just walk right into the space and not know what you're doing. You got to be very careful. If you're not in the stock market because you're worried about the gambling that goes on there, then the crypto space is like that on steroids. You got to be very careful what you're doing there. And Joe, when it comes to bank failures you were mentioning again, it's interesting. I mean, I haven't mentioned this pattern in a while, but in 2005 and 2006, those were both years there was no bank failures. There was even bank failures in 2017. There was 8, and there was in 2020 and 2019 there was 4. So there's been bank failures almost every year, but there was 0 bank failures in 5 and 6, and then in 7, 3 popped in, and then boom, it blew up. Well, in 2021 and 2022, guess how many bank failures there were? 0 both years. And then we had the 5 last year, and now we're in 2024. Doesn't it just feel like economically we're going to follow that path, and the banks are going to feel the stress in a major way? And I think what you read earlier about 2 bank failures a week, maybe not 2024, but 2025, 2026, could be very likely to happen, Joe.
800-951-0592. God bless everybody.
3-star General Michael J. Flynn, head of the Pentagon Intelligence Agency, knew all the government's dirty secrets.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
Flynn knew what the intel world had been up to. He understood its funding.
He ordered the first audit of the use of contractors. This set off alarm bells.
The explosive new documentary, Flynn, Deliver the Truth, Whatever the Cost, uncovers the facts behind this scandal.
Flynn told the truth. He was the most dangerous person for Donald Trump to hire.
I find out the worst enemy that I'm going to face in my life is right here in America. They took my assessment and they wanted me to change it. And I was like, I'm not changing it.
They had to get rid of Flynn.
With in-depth interviews, archival footage, and never-before-seen personal records of the man behind the headlines.
I just felt like I was drowning.
Flynn, Deliver the Truth, Whatever the Cost. Available now. Watch it today. Go to salemnow.com. salemnow.com.